Welcome back to the Weekend Warriors Show Recap Podcast. I'm Ty from the Unemployed Architects. This week, I have a couple shows to talk about. I had Open Range Grill on Saturday, and then Sunday I had kind of a, unbeknownst to me, it was a private event. But I didn't really know that going in, but I'll talk about that kind of down the road. But anyway, so it was a weird weekend. I had 2 shows booked, a while back for Friday and Saturday, kind of my normal deal, and those both got canceled kind of last minute. So then it was just a scramble to kind of grab whatever I could, and it kind of worked out because I ended up and got 2 shows. But it was like a day off set, so everything was a little bit weird for the next week, because usually Sunday's kind of like my recovery day, I guess, but I'll get into that. All right, so Open Range Grill, it's like a little restaurant bar on a golf course up north in Sugar Grove, Illinois, and it was a 2-hour drive. It was a cool drive, though, just because, we're kind of in that middle range where it's turning from winter time to spring to summer. You never, in Illinois, you really never know which one it's going to be. And this one was kind of, it wasn't too warm, but it was definitely more on the spring side, I would say. And had been raining all week, and this night was really no exception. It was, kind of back and forth, and it looked really cool on the drive, like the pastels in the sky and whatnot. And sometimes, I don't know, winter gets a little bit, by the time you're leaving for a show, even if it's at 4 o'clock, 4:30, it's dark. So, so it was nice to have something kind of pretty to look at. And I guess, I don't know, I just always think, like, on days like that, where, it's change, and it was like raining when it was sunny out, and, it just felt very alien. Or if I wasn't familiar with it, it would seem like a different world almost. But, and then, listening to some good music on the way always gets me kind of excited for the show. When I got there, it was a little later than I wanted to be, and then I had to carry a bunch of stuff upstairs in the rain, but again, it was like sunny out and raining, and then it really only rained the whole time I was there for the load-in, which isn't the best time, I would say, for that, but, you gotta roll with the punches. And a little bit of a weird setup. It was, I was like in the middle of the bar, and then there was, on this side, there was the bar, and then on this side was like the restaurant area. So, and it was kind of blocked by a little wall that I was in the corner of. It just didn't feel like a good angle, I guess, to just do my JBL, or one JBL. So I ended up and did 2 JBLs, pointed, crisscrossed, kind of like that. And then, of course, I was in the middle. And, it was probably too loud. I don't know. But I kept asking the bar, and they kept saying to turn up. We always have bands in here that have a drummer, and it's always so loud. So this is like nothing. And I mean, I don't know if that's like a good thing to kind of measure myself against, but I did have a lady at one point, definitely on the older side, older couple, kind of come up and be like, you sound really good, but you're way too loud. I was like, well, they just told me to turn up, and they had literally just told me to turn up not long before that. Or I had somebody from the crowd that said that wasn't loud enough, so... You can't please everyone, that is for sure. I did feel loud, and my ears were definitely ringing after the show. So, but I played well. I felt like it was a solid performance, 3-hour set. Kind of just grateful to have the work ultimately, and I don't know. It was a very weird collection of people. There seemed to be a lot of really young kids that were there, and then there were like, not young like 6, but like in their teens maybe, and then there was like a really older crowd, and then there was like a few people my age. The staff all seemed pretty young at the beginning, but then by the end it was a little bit older. So I really try to mix up the covers, But I felt really, really good for the first hour. And then after that, I did like an hour and a half, and then I took a little break, and then I came back, and I wasn't feeling as quite as in the flow or in the pocket. And it had cleared out a little bit by then. Of course, they did the standard apology where, it's usually a lot busier than this, which I get over and over and over again. But, you just got to keep at it and hope that one of those kind of, or a few of them will work out at some point. You'll play a good show and there'll be a lot of people there, and it'll pay off. But so that was, and then, a long drive home. And then the show the next day was a lot like, I think I booked it either the week of or like a week and a half before. And it was a third party booker that hooked me up with the event booker. And really it was just like, hey, can you do this? And I was like, yes, because I definitely needed a show. And I would have done it even if I didn't, because it's a Sunday and I wouldn't normally have a show. But anyway, so I did it. I agreed to do it. And he gave me the guy's name, but no phone number. And I guess I just assumed that the guy would reach out. It was it's called Riggs Beer Company in Champaign. So I was thinking kind of, it was definitely a brewery, so like kind of a brewery gig. And, I play a ton of those. So I was thinking I was ready for it. And then I got there, and it was definitely more of a private event, like in the back where the actual like brewing equipment was. So I definitely wasn't expecting that. And it was like some prize that these people had won to come and like tour and learn about the brewery. And I don't know, I was caught a little off guard. And then I asked the guy that introduced himself as the booker, and he was like, yeah, this is this is a private event. I was like, well, is this open to the public? Because I definitely put it on Facebook and promoted it a little bit, and there were a few people I know that were heading my way, not necessarily to see me, but they were just like happy that it was gonna work out where they would do the thing that they were probably already planning to do, but then I would be there also. But yeah, that wasn't really, so they didn't get to enjoy the music. They just had to enjoy each other's company, I guess. But no big deal. I mean, it was just kind of a miscommunication and the show was a little weird. I mean, it was like a bright room. It started at like 1:30. It was a 2-hour set. I really tried to focus my covers, and I did mostly covers because I felt like that's what the people there really required or really would have wanted. Kind of classic rock and Beatles and, all the kind of my kind of earlier covers that I could do. And they went over really well. I just had to really, really tame the volume, which was not too, it was weird because usually I don't have to focus on my foot drums too much, but I have the foot tambourine, so I like taped off the two of the bells on the foot tambourine, and then I just very, very, because I have tap shoes on the bottom of the shoes, so I took the board out so you weren't hearing the big like hand clap sound, and I was really just trying to very lightly stomp instead of like really crack anything, just to keep a beat. I probably could have gotten away without doing the foot drums, but sometimes I feel like I so used to doing them, and that they give me a little leeway to hide behind, just another instrument to kind of, especially on a morning show where I'm not quite, ready to be the center of attention maybe, but and it just makes me a better musician the more I use them, because I have to keep a beat while playing, and that's, I don't know, I think that's the natural next step of, I've been doing this for a long time at this point, and it's like if I just played guitar and did vocals, I mean, there's something to be said about that. I could hopefully get better at singing and playing, but I don't know, I just feel like the one-man band thing. Now I'm trying to get better at singing. I'm trying to get better at playing guitar, trying to get better at, keeping tempos, which definitely not my strong suit. So it makes me definitely kind of hyper aware of, tempo changes and stuff like that. Especially when I watch it back, it's like, ooh, I sped that one up, or ooh, I don't know. I don't usually play things slow, I guess. I mostly just bump up the tempos. But, just makes me more conscious of tempos in general. It used to be nice when I'd play with Blair too, because he has the looper pedal, so those keep exact tempos. A little bit more robotic than I necessarily like, but you really feel when you speed up or slow down, because the digital drummer doesn't do those things. So if you go just a touch ahead, you're like, ooh, I need to back off that, and you notice it right away. And it's like if you play songs that you don't normally play with the looper, the beat buddy thing, you really notice when there's parts where you speed up, because you're like, ooh, you can just feel yourself going kind of, and you're like, oh yeah, we need to taper back a little bit. But I don't know, I've never been too into the digital part of it. I like just playing everything live. I feel like it's more in the moment, but it has its pitfalls or its downfalls as well. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. It was a little bit of a weird show, but the guy was super nice that booked it, and he ended up, and he just booked me a show coming up on a Thursday at his place, which is Vermilion River Brewing, or no, Vermilion River Beer Company, I believe. And I have another show booked at this Riggs place that the event was at. So I mean, it all worked out pretty good. And he ended up in I don't know, he was very generous and very nice and said kind words and stuff. So it was definitely worth it. And I was done by 6 on a Sunday, but it threw my week off a little bit, I gotta say. I mean, I put so many things on my list to do that if I don't get that Sunday off, sometimes I just feel like there's no way I'm gonna be able to make it. I'm gonna run out of steam, run out of juice, and I think I definitely did. And then before I knew it, it was Friday again for the shows the next week. So, but overall, it was a good weekend. I was happy half of the work, happy to fill in those holes, and yeah, I think it was, it all worked out very nicely, and I feel like I played pretty well. Not my best, but pretty well. And now we're switching on gears here to the spring and summertime, and it seems like I'm going to have a lot of outside shows. I know I have, we're in May right now. I have probably, I think it's 12 or 13 shows this month so far. So, and we got 2 full band, well, 3-piece, just Low and then Doug, the bass player, playing with me. So it'll be, I think, May 14th up in Utica at Jamie's Outpost. And pardon me. And at the end of the month, we're playing the Benjamin Bash, which is the first show Doug ever played with us last year. And so yeah, it'll be fun. He's been back at it. Low's been back at it with practice and kind of getting us ready for these shows. And I'm surprised at how much Doug really remembers. Honestly, he's I don't know if he just practiced a lot of the songs throughout or right before, but it's just a different mentality, because it's last summer I had a bunch of 2 and 3-piece shows booked, so he was kind of like the rotating man, and he played a lot of shows with me, but a lot of the time we were just trying to get songs, the length of we try to get 3 hours of material. So learning kind of the easiest songs as fast as we can, just to get like turn around, turn around, turn around. But this time around, since he already has a lot of the songs down, it's just more like having fun, like just playing the songs instead of actually having to learn and kind of coach in real time. Sometimes in like practices, I get so caught up in like, okay, so I'm playing the foot drums, I'm playing the guitar, I'm singing, but then I'm like also trying to, oh, the bridge is coming, try to, G there, try to throw that in while we're practicing, and it kind of makes it a little less fun, but it's necessary to keep the machine rolling, I guess. But in other news, the song Wings that I've been talking about a few times, still got acoustic guitars and vocals. I redid some of the electric guitar parts, trying to make those a little bit cleaner. So after listening to them, I was like, they're good, but they could be better. So I went back and redid a lot of them, really hoping, I don't know, I've been bad about, I really want to get those guitars and vocals down, and after that, it's just mixing and mastering. So but those are kind of like the main things and the hardest things. So everything else is more just like composing and coming up with parts, and playing electric guitar is, playing the lead part is I'd say a little bit tougher than like doing the drum parts and stuff, or like the bass parts. But I don't know, there's something a little bit tougher to me about doing the vocals. But anyway, so that's hopefully coming this week. I want to at least get the acoustic guitars done, and kind of just go from there, I guess. But so this next weekend I have 3 shows. I have Friday night at Gigs Place in Fairbury, Saturday morning at the Farmers Market, a show I kind of picked up last minute because somebody canceled, and then Saturday evening, where do I play at Saturday evening? I can't remember. Yeah, I've lost what it is, but I'll be talking about those shows next week, and so that's pretty much everything. I appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen, and I'll talk to you next time. All right, have a nice day. Bye.